Oh, we're taking the show on the road here on this edition of Talon Talk every Tuesday, talking all things University of North Florida Ospreys, and you have to get yourself that seat right there because that's a good one. Part of the new renovations going on here at Dusty Rhodes Field as the University of North Florida baseball team gets set to embark on another season here in 2026. Look at that view. Fantastic. We'll show you more what's going on here on this new baseball turf and the renovations that are going on and getting ready to open this weekend. Brent Martineau along with Richard Miller. We're going to talk a bunch of different Ospreys conversations when it comes to athletics, but we begin with Joe Mercadante. He's actually in the middle of practice, and we don't want to keep him too much longer, but we're probably not going to talk baseball. We're going to talk aesthetics instead. Look at this place as we'll continue to show it off. I know not everybody can see it as we're inside the Osprey nest. This was a safe place to be, but it looks fantastic, the new turf out there.
It really does. I mean, they outdid themselves, I think. You know, talk about a first-class playing surface. You know, we took care of the player safety with the padded walls, and it's just, I mean, every day I walk in, and I didn't lose any sleep with the rain this weekend, and then you walk in every day and it's ready to go.
How's the team liking it, Joe?
They love it. I think, you know, last week we were able to get out there on Monday being the first day and just getting used to the field. How's it going to play? How are the bounces? But with, you know, the quality product we put down, it's not a big change. It's just consistency. There's not really any bad hops, and we kind of joke with the infielders now, like any errors is user error. It's not on the field anymore.
Yeah, it's a little dangerous for an infielder, especially. The excuses kind of run out a little bit. But in the early going, as you guys are getting to learn this, it will play different, right? It will kind of, you got to get used to it. You said you've been on it for a week and a half. And maybe by, I don't know, middle of March or April, it might play a little bit different. Think of a new greens that go down on a golf course, right? There's some getting used to and some natural just development that has to take place with the turf.
Absolutely. You know, I had a good history. I spent a couple years at a program when I was at Pittsburgh. We had turf, so you kind of got to see how it played day in and day out, how the elements affect it. But the consistency, I think, is the best part about this, is these guys know what they're going to get every day. Now it's just us getting used to it, understanding the intricacies of the park. We got a little bit of some personality in the outfield now, a couple corners, and gives it some uniqueness, but also is going to make it a lot of fun. Now we just got to make sure it's a home field advantage and get those reps in.
I wanted to ask him about that. Actually, Cook Corner right down there, and Pedro Bregan and the Bregan Foundation helped contribute to this as well. We're going to see that when it's all said and done, when you come out here this weekend and throughout the season. But that corner could get a little tricky. But also, if you guys know how to deal with it, maybe give you a little bit of an advantage.
That's right. Just learning how your field plays and understanding certain balls. We're going to have to make sure the backup's coming, and all outfielders have to kind of be on high alert when balls go that way. And you talk about the right field corner with a little bit of a higher, a little bit of a mini monster. So I really love what they did with the ballpark and gave it a little bit more personality. So it's extremely exciting to be out there.
What about for the pitchers? The bullpens change up. They're now behind the walls. Are they getting used to that aspect or what it could bring?
Yeah, I think it just changes kind of how they get themselves ready, their routine, but now it's not interrupted by a foul ball coming down the right field line. So the safety thing was addressed, number one. But number two, it just gives them kind of their own space where they can prepare how they need to. They have a couple innings they can be down in that space, get their arms warmed up, do what they need to do. And we've thrown bullpens out of, you know, both bullpens, got on the game mound a good bit. So everybody's getting their reps and getting comfortable with it.
Well, what I like about this is we're sitting here in the Osprey nest and we're watching practice. Okay, that's the viewpoint that we have. And Jason, I know you have some other video maybe we can show. I took yesterday, and already there are differences because the wall is now pretty much fully up. They're doing the final touches on that. But this place that we're in is already very cool. It's good for fans. It's good for you guys, the way you can use it, from team meeting space to others. I see a ping pong table. I mean, let loose a little bit. So just you're taking what already is here and now building onto this, and there are more stages to come, but it must be fun to be able to see all that and use that now to your advantage, because facilities matter.
They do, in the sense that, you know, every player and student athlete we bring in here, they have aspirations of moving on, and our hope is that every resource they need, they can find right here at UNF. And certainly you feel that way about, you know, the facility with the changes we made here. We've made some updates to the batting facility, the plans we have that, you know, our athletic department has really put forward is going to be a game changer, just like this field is. But at the end of the day, these young men that want to move on and play at the next level, they've got all the resources they need here.
Coach, how's the team looking? Some new faces, transfers, freshmen. You've got a new pitching coach as well. What have you seen over practice the last couple of weeks?
It's been great. I think, you talked about the pitching coach. Parker Baines has been outstanding. Obviously, we had some success the last couple of years on the mound, but Coach Petrowski moved on and, went through the interview process, and Parker was a no-brainer, just in terms of his path, where he's been, the way he communicates with his student athletes, the professionalism in which he goes about it each day. It was just a no-brainer for me, and couldn't be more thrilled to have him here. The guys quickly got to know him and developed that relationship, and he's done some really nice things with these guys, not only the newcomers but the returners as well. And a little bit of that's the getting to know each other and the relationship building, but he did that in such a professional way that these guys are all bought in, and they have been for months now.
Yeah, we got the top 50 recruiting class, right, as well, and so you guys feel like you got some momentum. I know now it's about creating momentum out on the field, but do you feel that? I mean, do you feel after being here a few years, some of the stuff that's going on, but also some of the talent acquisition, feeling out what was already here, and now making this your own program, that there's some momentum, and now if you can get it in the win-loss column?
That's right, yeah. You just look for growth year after year, making progress, addressing maybe the things that held you back a little bit the year before. And, you look at kind of the group we brought in. We had kind of an even mix of transfers and, some JUCO guys, some high school guys. And that's kind of the new norm I think we're going to find here. It's kind of 50% returners, 50% newcomers. So certainly the team camaraderie and getting to know each other and learning how to play the game, the style that you want to play is important. But also, just letting these guys go out there and kind of do their thing and helping those guys on a daily basis is a big part of baseball.
We talked to Nick Morrow, as our Brent, last week, and he was talking about the energy around the team, that more people are wanting to volunteer, help out in any ways they can with the baseball program. Can you discuss that and what you've seen over the last season?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. We got here and I was pushing over laundry carts every night with the laundry, and that's part of what you sign up for.
Yeah.
And now, you've got a student manager team of almost 12 individuals that want to be a part of the program, whether it's helping out in the equipment room, doing laundry, helping out on the field, setting up stations, organizing pregame meals, postgame meals, helping with, correspondence to alumni and things like that. So it's awesome to see how many people are buying into the program. Some non-coaching staff members. We got a director of program development that's a former scout, Marina Gomez, who's a University of Miami all-time great, that just joined the program, and he's been extremely valuable to us so far, and it's just exciting to see everybody want to be a part of the program.
Just a note on what you said earlier about 50-50. I was looking up a graphic yesterday. I think D1 Baseball put it out or something. A-Sun is at like 44% returners and I think 56% newcomers. A small number of freshmen, or at least percentage, and then a lot of transfers. So it's a high transfer league in what's going on. Just to back up what Joe Mercadante was saying, if you have it the way you want it, and what you think happens, which, by the way, this better than me, it doesn't usually always happen that way. People that come out and watch you guys against Sacred Heart this weekend, and then watch you at other times during the year, we have a stretch of 15 out of 18 home games, by the way, so plenty of times to watch you in March and early April. What are they going to say? What kind of team, what style are you guys going to want to play?
That's funny, we just talked about it in our pre-practice meeting, is what's our identity going to be. And you talk about that year over year, obviously there's some constants, but I think at a renewed level of aggressiveness, I think, being a little bit more aggressive in the box, a pound in the zone on the pitcher's mound. We struck out a lot of guys over the couple of years, but giving away too many free passes. So we want to be known as an aggressive ball club. I think there's a higher level of competitiveness with this group, which is exciting. Not by design, but we got a little bit more of the JUCO market this year. And those guys walk in the door with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, which you have to have, and that's been exciting to kind of see that spread throughout the team. So it's a group that hates losing more than they like winning, and I think that's a big piece and a key ingredient for this group. But it's going to be the first half of the season really kind of growing and trying to make those steps week in and week out, and hopefully be playing your best baseball at the end of the year.
Absolutely, that's the goal.
A number of key returners: Clay Henry, you've got Zane Starling, both pitchers, Santiago Ordonez. Sounds like he's going to be the primary catcher, but also Seth Alford comes back as a sophomore, big-time hitter, big-time player. How key is it with these core returners?
Well, I think having returners is a big piece with the years that we have now with so much turnover. You got to have some guys that understand the program, how you want to do things, how we do things the right way, the work ethic, and all those things. So Seth and Santi obviously bring back that, familiarity of the program, but those guys compete. Those guys know how to work. Those guys lead the way when it gets in the weight room or doing extra work. So those guys are huge, and obviously Seth's going to be starting for us at second base, and Santi will be behind the plate. But there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of depth, which we really like about this group. So those guys are big pieces. And then on the pitcher's mound, we're going to be a little bit creative with our weekend rotation to start with kind of what you saw the Rays do with like an opener and follow it up with a true starter for a couple days. Some of those guys will be returners and newcomers, but Clay's going to be a huge piece of the pitching staff, and Will Ross is a couple weeks away from getting back to full strength, and he'll be huge for us as well.
Well, ball's still flying out here, by the way, with all the changes.
You know what? It's funny. It's the wind changes it so much. It can turn from a hitter's ballpark to a pitcher's ballpark with just a quick switch at the foul pole. So, but certainly the prevailing wind this time of year is out to right, which Ray's in the field a little bit in right center. Save my ability to hire a good pitching coach. So that was a big piece.
Awesome. Joe Mercadante, baseball coach. A lot of fun stuff happening, but maybe most fun, baseball season starts on Friday. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, that's Joe, and we'll obviously visit with him many more times here on Talon Talk. Can't wait to watch this baseball team play. Talk more about all the new upgrades here. We got a little softball conversation, basketball as well. Might even talk to Corey Levine, who is the man behind all this. Might be the happiest guy. He found a couple more hours in his day. I don't know. He likes working on the baseball field, but found a couple more hours in his day. We'll get to that in just a bit. We're live here at UNF, the Osprey Desk, Talon Talk on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hi, I'm Joel Donovan. My brother Kyle and I, we are co-owners and operators here at Donovan Heat and Air and Electric, and my dad started the business in 1987 to provide the greater Jacksonville area with a great customer service experience. 3 decades later, we're still doing the same thing. I love the Jacksonville area, I love the community, I love raising my family here. That's my name on the side of the building, and it's really important for our family to run this company the way it should be ran. It's something to be proud of.
When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models, or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway, or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness, and most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC, we are professional grade.
We're CSI companies. We partner with organizations nationwide to help employers like you find your dream team. You're looking to hire the best of the best, and we've got you covered, start to finish. Whether you're hiring for projects or everyday operations, we provide the talent, strategic solutions, and innovative technologies that keep your business ahead of the competition. This is your workforce, reimagined. This is CSI Companies.
We've been telling you about the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network for over a year now. How to find it, what to see. Simply put, it's TV online. Local sports content all day, every day. Just like this.
Did you always want to make history? Like, think that big, or just say, hey, I want to play in the NFL?
I always say I wanted to play in the NFL.
Cuts it back to her left side, takes a shot, and into the back of the net.
Oh, what a pass.
Oh, my goodness.
What a pass.
And they have been. We've been talking, we've been articulating.
I did have a sense that they wanted to be bold, that they wanted to make a splash.
It's content you won't find on TV. Find it on actionsportsjax.com and just sit back and watch local sports all day on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Joel Donovan. My brother Kyle and I, we are co-owners and operators here at Donovan Heat and Air Electric, and my dad started the business in 1987 to provide the greater Jacksonville area with a great customer service experience. 3 decades later, we're still doing the same thing. I love the Jacksonville area, I love the community, I love raising my family here. That's my name on the side of the building, and it's really important for our family to run this company the way it should be ran and something to be proud of.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service, a meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Good-looking baseball facility with that new turf down, and from AstroTurf, by the way. They just put the padded walls in today. Breaking Better Baseball Foundation, the Cook family, helping do that. There's a Cook Corner down there, which we talked about with Joe Mercadante. We're going to talk a lot more about this facility and what's gone into it over the last couple of months, really probably years in the makings, and getting ready to open it up. We're live at Talon Talk, on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Inside the Osprey nest while we're watching the baseball team practice right now. That was video from yesterday that we took. Richard Miller, Brent Martineau, Corey Levine. And happiest guy or sad guy that you don't get to work on the baseball field anymore and worry about rain and all that other good stuff?
I think that's the question that everybody's asked recently. I did spend 4 to 5 years taking care of a field that was built in 1988. So we did have our fun with it. We did have some really cool days where it looked really good and some days where it didn't. Definitely excited for the team and the program. They deserve this. Long time in the making through several different coaching staffs, and just excited for them to be out here on it.
I know you haven't done it at UNF before, but working on an AstroTurf field, have you had experience with that in the past?
Not specifically with baseball. We do have an AstroTurf soccer practice field here already, so we've got to play with it a little bit. I've traveled around the country talking to different Power 5, mid-major turf managers at all levels, just to see what they do and how they make their field perform at the highest levels for their athletes and keep it safe for them as well. And it's been an experience so far. AstroTurf did a great job with the install. We turned this whole project around in less than 75 days. Which was a challenge in itself. We got it done, and we'll be ready for opening day on Friday.
Yeah, what you were showing me yesterday, we were walking around out here,
and some of the batter's boxes, so some of those spots that get worn down pretty quickly, those have quick fixes to it. But this is going to last a while. It might change a little bit in the early going on how it plays, but this thing is going to last a while. And again, if it's a rainy day, don't have to worry about a cancellation. Most likely, you obviously can't play in too much rain in baseball, but certainly a huge helper in terms of the man hours that go into some of those things, and especially here in Florida, right?
Yeah, correct. It's definitely not maintenance free by any means. It's a lot less maintenance. Like you mentioned, our batter's boxes, pitcher's mounds, bullpens are all Velcro inserts, so we can change out whenever we need to, just depending upon wear and tear, and we'll kind of see how that goes and withstands a test of a rigorous season. But no, it's definitely the first thing we did was get rid of our field tarp. As soon as Nick said that we were going through with this project, I made sure that had a new home, and that was given to a good cause. But no, definitely excited about when it's raining at night. I'm not getting the coach text at 2 a.m. about did we tarp or not. But yeah, no, definitely it's going to be a huge help when it comes to the weather we have in the state.
A couple other things, netting and padding from Baker Sports in Burbank. We see their name out here. They do a great job. By the way, that's a local company that does netting for big league teams as well. So it's a heck of a product. Fencing provided by Newsom Fencing. pit seating area with 82 dream seats presented by Bonos of America. And by the way, we showed that off earlier. That's a really cool seat. Like, that's going to be a great seat. And you get to come in here in the Osprey nest as well if you get a little too hot. But there's going to be an awning out here too. You guys really thought of a lot of things to change overnight. And again, it's not easy to change things overnight, and more to come.
Correct. And without doing a full stadium renovation, demolition and that type of thing, we definitely did touch on a lot of different points. We have new dugout rails going in. We extended the footprint of the dugout a little bit from what we had previously to try to give those guys a little more room. Spencer Jones with Newsom Fence did an awesome job in donating this new fence to our facility. Everything had to be step by step, just like the order operations in elementary school. The field had to go in first, curbing, then the fence, and then Burbank's here actually on site right now, still finishing our wall pads. But it's a meticulous process to get everything done right. And we'll be doing, I'm sure, work out here right up until opening or something of that nature. But the guys that asked for a turf assured me that, within a couple weeks we'll have it fully broken in and kind of right where we want it. You can tweak it a little bit, not as much as a natural grass field, just to see how fast or slow you can make it play. But like Joe said, consistency is huge. That's something we battled on our old field, just to make sure that it was as consistent on a game day as it was on the practice day. And at this level, this field's going to perform great for these guys.
By the way, a couple more shout-outs.
Make this happen, and we'll continue to help the facilities here at the University of North Florida. Family Fun Zone, which is going to be down the left field side as well. That should be a pretty cool area, and there's actually a look-through area where the bullpens are, so not everything is padded. Same with the right field side. But that Family Fun Zone presented by WWGA Mechanical Contracting, the baseball by Scorpio, presented by Andy and Roxanne Rogers, and the alumni giving back wall in the nest here as well. So, I mean, this will be enhanced over the next couple of days, weeks, months, and years to come. And so I ask you two questions before you let you go. One is, what's your favorite part of it? Like, do you have a favorite part of it? Is there a wrinkle here or there that you're pretty proud of or just like?
I think the biggest thing is we kept everything the same as far as the original footprint of the field. It is almost a historic field at this point. So between the warning track design, the shape of home plate, just the little nuances like that, we did try to maintain some of the history of the original Dusty Rhodes field. And I think the biggest part of the whole project that's been enjoyable for me is I've been here for 6 years, and all the alumni that have called and text for pictures and are excited to come back and be a part of this and see it. I think that's been huge for me, just to reconnect with all those guys that, played here over the years and pulled that tarp many times, fought the battles of that other field. It's just exciting to be a part of.
This guy's so good, by the way. He actually, right behind the pitcher's mound, put a little electrical outlet too, covered up. You wouldn't be able to tell, but now you get that BP machine out there, and you don't have to run the extension cords all the way to the dugout. Little small details like that,
small
man.
Details. We thought through a lot of different aspects of this playing surface for these guys. We're trying to make it as easy on them for coaches to coach and players to play, and them to be safe and win some games while we're out here.
Next up, what is next?
I think we're rolling into our soccer practice complex now.
I don't know if I could say it, so I'll let you say it.
I think I'm allowed to say it. Soccer practice should be getting started here slowly. I'm going to put a bow on this one, and we're going to move across the parking lot and get that done for these soccer players.
Was that a troll job this morning on Instagram that you were raking the field?
No, you have to maintain the maintenance-free turf still.
Okay.
But no, I like to use Instagram and social media platforms to make sure that our student athletes and coaches see kind of what we do behind the scenes. It's really kind of helped build our industry a little bit because they show up and everything's ready to go, but they don't always see the long hours that go into that. So that's been great for the sports turf industry over the last few years.
Yeah, well, you guys have done a great job, and Corey does a heck of a job over with the Jacksonville Jaguars and other places around the world and here in the Jacksonville area. But main gig right here at the University of North Florida, do a terrific job, you and your team, and I know you're going to like this. Enjoy watching it and find at least maybe another half hour in the day for yourself.
We're going to try. Our crew's excited about it. They do a great job, and I couldn't do without my assistant Luis Rodriguez and our staff. They do a phenomenal job.
All right, Corey Levine, nice job, man. Enjoy it and keep up the good work. Get ready for opening day.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right, I know Jeff Conrad's in here. Why don't you just hand that to him? Get him in here. We won't even take a break so we can get Jeff back out on the softball field if he needs to be there. The head coach of the UNF softball team coming off a huge win.
Big time.
And really a great weekend as well. How about that win?
I mean, it was shutouts, run rules. Last year was great, but he said it last week to you that this team could be even better.
Yeah, and you might be right. By the way, University of North Florida Ospreys, go check out UNFospreys.com because we are in the collision season right now, right? The finishing up of the winter into the spring. And, oh, by the way, on the horizon, high school basketball, girls and boys state championships, ASUN, men's and women's basketball championships here in Jacksonville in March. March is going to be loaded with everything going on, including the spring sports like baseball and softball. And Jeff Conrad joins us now, back-to-back weeks here on Talon Talk for the softball coach. And let's go back to the Auburn one because I think Richard just said it. You were, I'm not saying you were screaming it from the mountaintops, but you were saying, hey, we might be even better. We have a lot of depth. We like this squad. We were good last year, but we think we can be even better. Well, that was a heck of a statement there.
Yeah, I mean, we were obviously excited to, kind of get out there and let the rest of the country see what we had. I mean, we obviously felt really good going through the fall and, through spring training and everything we did there. And I was proud of the way the kids competed. I mean, they, going back to South Carolina last year and being in the regional, I mean, the one thing I knew going into that Virginia game is our kids were going to stand toe-to-toe with Virginia and they weren't going to blink. So I felt pretty good about, where we were at, what we have. Our preparations for the Auburn game, and I think I think a lot of people were able to see, maybe I wasn't selling it too strong, and maybe we might actually be better.
Yeah, I think it looks like it. I mean, it was an 11-3 game to run rule an SEC team, and then listen, softball, baseball, you never know. Every day you go out there, but it was actually more dominant than that. Left some runners on, and almost could have been even more.
Oh, big time. Absolutely. Jeff, your team swept the ASUN honors this week. Looking at the pitching, all 5 pitchers saw at least 4 2/3 of work in the circle, team ERA of less than 1. How pleased with you were you with the pitching staff?
Really pleased. It's a talented group. It's a young group just in terms of experience, but Macy obviously had a great week picking up a couple wins, and Taylor Cook started the Auburn game, and I thought really, aside from some, control issues, really did a good job in that outing. And, Kate Peters came in and held things down for us, throughout that game. Cam Ponick threw really well this weekend. And I thought the pleasant surprise has really been kind of trying to bring Caden Camper along, and she kind of, has really given us a lot to continue to build on, and we're getting close to that point where I think we're going to kind of unleash her a little bit and let her go. But we feel really good. I mean, that, I think I told Brent last week, I don't think this is a situation where we got 2 quarterbacks where we don't have one. I think we got, 5 kids that we can legitimately run out there at any different time. And it's been great. It's given us a lot of flexibility to really focus on matchups. And, we originally were going to go with Cam on Sunday. And then obviously when we saw North Dakota State and how they swung, we really started liking some of our matchups with some of our off-speed kids and things like that. So kind of made some changes, but being able to have that depth and that flexibility, I think is going to be a huge plus for us.
Was that the thing that maybe caught your attention the most out of this opening weekend? The fact, because you said that, and I know you feel that, but you don't know that until you kind of see it, right? And it looked like it performed really well.
Yeah, no question. I mean, it's, we felt good about the outings, our staff had in the fall, but we're going against a lot of junior colleges, so we don't know really how much we were tested. And then I'm looking at, a lot of our outings throughout the spring, and I think they're going against a really good lineup, and there's been some runs put up against them and stuff, so you don't really know where we're at. But I felt really good about, I thought that was going to be the one barometer where we had to look, okay, how fast is our staff going to move along? Our team will kind of go with the pace they have because we feel like defensively we've really improved. And, I think our lineup depth is just extremely difficult for people to navigate. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything. It's got balance. It's got length. It's got, power. I mean, we can beat you in a lot of different ways. So
I think you said, the depth, and you said speed or fast or whatever word you used. I think that's what you got at the top too.
Yeah.
Right. I think you showed that. I think stole 7 bases on the weekend, or maybe it was 8, but they're getting on at the top of the order too. And it feels like you expected that, and they delivered.
Yeah. Addie Keefe and Hallie Langford have really been our catalysts. I mean, they, picked up right where they were in the fall, right where they were at the start of spring training. And they just, really are, they ignite our offense. They're on base and they get on and they score because we got such great lengths behind them. I was giving Hallie a hard enough time, because she was stretching a couple doubles and triples. I said, if you're going to steal 40 this year, you're going to have to stop at first occasionally.
That's true.
Yeah. So, but no, really pleased with, what we've got on the offensive side. And, our dynamic, really started to change last year with Lulu as our leadoff hitter. And then, we've kind of multiplied it with Lulu and Keefe this year at the top. Or I'm sorry, Langford and Keefe at the top. And McCarthy is still coming on. I think she's going to get to a point where she'll hit her stride, and that creates, just a whole nother element because the way she turns the lineup over and the speed and what she can cause on the bases is pretty dynamic.
Who knew, by the way, North Dakota State was really good at softball?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Well, I told our kids because, years ago, actually Darren, who's still their coach, he actually recruited KK Letty, who's a local kid from Middleburg who played travel ball for me. So it actually felt like a very full circle moment where I was a travel ball coach helping her go to North Dakota State. And then he was back here this weekend and we talked afterwards. And, he had a lot of good words, just about the growth of our program and where we're at. And, it was definitely a full circle moment seeing North Dakota State. But that was a team that was in super regionals 10, 15 years ago. I mean, they've got a little bit of softball history. So we kind of knew coming in that would be the challenge. When the schedule came out, that was a team we wanted to play twice. So we thought that was probably the best team that was here this weekend. And, we just didn't have a great night. Give credit to them. I mean, they beat us. We didn't hit with runners in scoring position. Pitcher did a good job keeping us off balance. But, we were determined to kind of come back on Sunday and be like, hey, let's prove that this was a fluke, that, this is who we really are. So
you did that in spades.
Did you or the team have a favorite moment from that opening tournament, the win over Auburn? Did something jump out, a base hit or a nice defensive play?
Yeah, I thought, McCarthy continues to make some special plays in the outfield. The biggest challenge I think I had was trying to keep them off of social media and letting their heads get too big. I was really worried about coming back for UMass the next day and just kind of, thinking what is this team going to look like? So that I thought was a big challenge, is keeping them focused, coming off a game like we had against Auburn. Anytime you play a big SEC team, there's always a natural, a little bit of a letdown coming off of that. And, not to take anything away from UMass, but just, obviously a little bit of a different team than what Auburn is. So just, I think trying to keep our kids, grounded and but at the same time, I don't think any of us were caught off guard. I think we kind of went into the game thinking this is what's going to happen. We go into all these games thinking we're going to win. We got a really tough week coming next week with 2 games with Florida, and then we go out west and play a really good Grand Canyon team. And, our kids know what my expectations are, that we're going to win those games. So.
Yeah, which is pretty cool to have those expectations. I know you want to always do that, but I think you can legitimately do that with the team that you have in the program going on right here at the University of North Florida. And by the way, I think I kind of buried the lead. You've been in all the mid-major polls and climbing those. I think I saw maybe 11th in one of the mid-major polls up to that. But actually in the national rankings receiving votes, this just came out today. And I mean, that's got to be significant, right?
Yeah, really significant. I think it was Softball America. We finished the year at 25 last year, which was a really good accomplishment. But we obviously take a lot of pride in being ranked highly in those mid-major polls. I think we started 19-1 and they moved us up to 11. I think we were 8 in another one. I don't think I've seen that one yet, but even getting receiving votes, like we think we've got the team that's capable of getting inside that 25 and riding there for a couple weeks. And, we're obviously super excited about what next week brings, and think there's a lot of an opportunity there for us to kind of continue to climb and, continue to put North Florida on the map and become a national brand.
Is this a starting lineup where you have to tinker a lot, or you kind of know this is who's going to be where and maybe change up a pinch runner or two?
Yeah, it's got some challenges because of the depth. We were in a situation where Addie Brunneman's a really good softball player. She's a really good catcher. We got her one start this weekend, but we just don't have enough spots. Taylor Shepard hit 1,000 through her pinch hit appearances this weekend, and we're like, we can't play 2 first basemen. So that's probably the biggest challenge, is trying to find the hot one that week and kind of ride that out. But yeah, I think we're pretty set 1, 2, and 9. The kids that are in the middle there are kind of pretty interchangeable. We had a little bit of variety trying to mix and match them and find the right combinations. I think we kind of settled on, Bella in the cleanup spot. Grace has kind of been a mainstay for us in the 3-hole. But all those kids really, 7 through 3, are very interchangeable. So kind of just trying to find that, who's swinging the hot bat that week and kind of ride it out. But we've got some kids on our depth that can play. They can, be at a lot of other schools and would be starters. So it's a good problem to have, but it's challenging because it's like you go back as a coach at the end of the weekend and maybe you go into it with a plan. Hey, I'd like to get this kid X amount of innings, and then you look, you have a couple games that go 5 innings. You don't get all those additional opportunities. So really kind of trying to navigate the depth and make sure we're doing a good job of developing that has been a bit of a challenge, but it's a good problem to have. I'm not going to complain about it.
It is a good problem, but the challenges are real there because you also you don't want to go if you're a hitter 3 weeks without getting that bat or 8 games without getting that bat. I mean, there's a legitimate you want in there. You got to get the feel for it. BP, the cage only does so much sometimes, so that you can see the mentality of that, right? I mean, you've got to obviously control a lot of emotion, and everybody wants to play. Yeah. So those are good problems, but they also come with other problems and challenges that you've got to navigate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's, why we really focus from the get-go, really building our team chemistry and making that such an important element. Getting the kids, to buy into that concept of Mudita, where other people's success are just as important as your success, and getting them to celebrate that. And, we understand everybody wants to play. We got 25 kids that want to play. I wouldn't expect it to be any other way. If you don't want to play, then my question would be, why are you here? Exactly. So I understand that problem. Obviously, it makes my job very difficult having to pick who's our best 10 on a given day. But we feel good that we were able to get some people some experience, put some seasoning on some kids. Obviously, like I said, with those run rule games, it made it a little more challenging where we lost some innings and lost some at-bats for some kids. But we got to continue to do that throughout the year because I think our depth is something that's really going to, carry us, throughout the long season.
Did you say Mudita?
Mudita. I learned that from Pat Murphy. It's basically it means celebrating your teammates' success and having those things be just as important as your own success. So when we established our core values, we let our kids obviously be involved with that. I just think, it'd be one thing for me to stand up there and say, hey, these are what our values are going to be as a program. But if I want every single one of those kids bought into it, I need them to have input on it. So they know, we thrive on being a family. So they came up with the acronym family, and then each of the letters in that represents something. And the M in family stands for Mudita, which is finding, enjoyment in your teammates' success and how they perform.
I like it, Mudita. That's why we share the mic, Richard Miller. Yeah, right here on Talon Talk. No problem.
Yeah. I felt like some of that Mudita with the threads last week. Did the team like one or the other? Did they have a favorite?
The uniform. Yeah, we didn't even get to empty the tank. We didn't get all of them out. So I don't, So I know we still got a few in reserve that we're waiting to pull out. I think I heard him talking in before I came over here tomorrow. Obviously, we got Marshall, and I think they're coming in green on green. So the kids are talking about turning it into an NFL color rush game, and they're going to go aqua, so it's aqua on green.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting. But the uniforms obviously have been a big hit. The kids were super excited about the cream uniforms. I know I was surprised they made it to day 2. I thought for sure that was the day 1 play, but there's always been a lot of loyalty to the pinstripe, so I guess I wasn't totally surprised with that. But it's one of the things you got to do in today's day and age. Like the kids they see all that stuff on social media. We bring them in here on visits. We got fantastic itineraries built for them. They're meeting all these professors and doing stuff. And all they care about is when do I get to try on the uniforms and take pictures. I mean, that's
the reality.
That's what it's all about. So we try to do as best we can with that and give them something to get excited about, and along with the product that we think we're putting out on the field.
Well, it's a good one, heck of a one right now here at the University of North Florida. I don't know, claim to know Jeff really well, but I gather that he likes the fact that he's not picking the uniforms or doesn't really care about that part. As long as they play well in them.
Yeah, it's my job to design them, but I let them pick what they want to wear when they want to wear. I know some of them get pretty picky. They said, I got to look good in order to play good. I said, whatever you got to do to give me a product I'm proud of on the field, I'm all for it. So
I feel you. All right, Jeff Conrad, great job, great start. Can't wait to watch how this thing unfolds, especially over the next couple of weeks. Like you said, got Florida coming up next week. Grand Canyon, very good program as well. That'll be a fun trip for you guys, and good seeing you at the University of North Florida. And that logo, once again, in the conversation that everybody's talking about around the country here in softball as we get going early in the season. Good luck this week.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, Jeff Conrad. Talon Talk continues here on the Action Sports Shacks 24/7 Network. Brent Martineau Richard Miller. We talk some women's basketball when we come back here on the show.
Hi, I'm Joel Donovan. My brother Kyle and I, we are co-owners and operators here at Donovan Heat and Air and Electric, and my dad started the business in 1987 to provide the greater Jacksonville area with a great customer service experience. 3 decades later, we're still doing the same thing. I love the Jacksonville area. I love the community. I love raising my family here. That's my name on the side of the building, and it's really important for our family to run this company the way it should be ran. It's something to be proud of.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service, a meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
We're CSI companies. We partner with organizations nationwide to help employers like you find your dream team. You're looking to hire the best of the best, and we've got you covered, start to finish. Whether you're hiring for projects or everyday operations, we provide the talent, strategic solutions, and innovative technologies that keep your business ahead of the competition. This is your workforce, reimagined. This is CSI Companies.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University. Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School. Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oakleaf High School. Tony Mazzio, Stanwood High School, class of 2002.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Colts Hilly, Hilliard High School. Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
Hey, welcome back. Hey, look, this happened earlier today. Abby Gilliland introduced as the new volleyball coach here at the University of North Florida, and a little meet and greet and introductory news conference. Although we introduced her a couple weeks ago right here on Talon Talk as me O'Brien and Richard Miller had that conversation. So good luck to Coach as she begins. And a few years ago, the lady next to us right now knew what that was all about. Always an exciting day to be introduced. And we introduced Erica Lambert, now the women's basketball coach here at the University of North Florida. Do you remember that day? And what's that day like for a new coach?
Oh, man, it's a dream come true. And so I know what that feeling's like. And in some ways, it feels like it was yesterday and 10 years ago at the same time.
Was there nervousness? Obviously, there's a ton of anxiousness, I would assume. Do you plan out what you're going to say? I mean, because that's kind of the moment. I think even everybody on the team, everybody in town, everybody at the school's kind of waiting on almost every word of what you're going to do.
It's really special. I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for anybody else, but I certainly put a lot of thought into what I wanted to say. But it's hard. That's easier said than done because there's a lot thrown at you. Yeah. It's really fast paced. I remember writing that on the plane over, though.
That's cool.
Well, I remember, too, it was an AD reception. It was she and Joe Mercadante for baseball that we introduced them at the same time, did a little fireside chat. And, of course, you were excellent.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You guys make it easy.
Well, and ironically, both on the show here today as we're live at the Osprey Nest here on the campus of the University of North Florida, or kind of introducing the new baseball facility here. But we also have said there's a collision of sports going on here in the winter and spring sports season. And, well, you're getting closer and closer to March. How do you feel right now at this leg of the journey for your basketball team, which has been a season of ups and downs and some really fun moments along the way?
Yeah, we have had a lot of fun moments and a lot of strong individual performances lately. I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but man, we just keep pushing and keep working to bring those individual performances together. And I think, we're going to have a really good shooting night. We're due for a really good shooting night sometime soon. And for, our stars to sort of star on the same night. And when that happens, I think it's going to be really exciting. So we talked at length about that with our team yesterday. We've got 20, 21, 22 guaranteed days left. And so the assignment is to make sure that we are thriving in February and progressing to playing our best basketball going into the ASUN tournament.
One of the fun storylines has been Abby Knopf, freshman, Bulls product. Yeah. But I feel like she's been getting more minutes and more quality playing time and looking good out there.
Abby's the kind of kid that you build a program around. She does everything right. And maybe that sounds simple, but it's hard to do everything right as a freshman. I'm really proud of the way that she handles her business on and off the court, and really has done a great job of adapting to our system and just playing with a high IQ. So I've challenged her to be a little bit bolder in the scoring department. She goes out, she can play extended minutes without turning the ball over and being in all the right positions. But I just told her, you can take over, you can dominate a little bit more. You don't have to wait.
You have to feel that out. And do you feel like you've got a good feel now of this team and the rotation you need, or, at certain minutes of games and ebbs and flows, depending on what style you're playing?
For sure. And that's a really good point, because I feel like I'm being patient with that with our players, but it's, I'm at a point where I'm finally getting there too. So there's no substitute for time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you got a big weekend, by the way. North Florida's Play for K game is coming up on Thursday, and that's against Florida Gulf Coast. Before we get to the River City Rumble part, what does that mean to women's basketball, this initiative that started years ago?
Yeah, at this point, his Play for K has been doing so many good things for so many years, and we had to really educate our team about Coach K Yao, because maybe they aren't as familiar. Yeah. And she was just such an incredible leader. And my favorite K Yao quote is, "When life kicks you, let it kick you forward." And this foundation, I just don't know if she could have imagined how many people she would impact in the fight against cancers that affect women. And it's just been something that the women's basketball world has championed for so long. So it's fun to wear pink and do something a little bit different for a game day promotion, but it's a lot bigger than that.
River City Rumble then on Saturday, Valentine's Day, 2:00 game against Jacksonville.
Yeah, I've already set the plans with Peggy afterwards, so I'll be ready at 5:30 or 6.
Ooh, good reminder. Okay.
Well, you don't have to remember anything. It's just
he definitely has to do the reminding.
Yeah,
it's always a fun one.
Yeah, both ways. Like a couple times a year, it's just such a fun matchup. It really, at that point, it doesn't even matter who's ranked where or what's going on. It's the River City Rumble, so everybody gets up for it. And, most of our team does. We're looking forward to it, and it's always really special for our community. JU's doing a great job, and they'll bring a really, really athletic team across town, so we'll have our hands full with that, but I'm excited about it.
You mentioned, they're trying to, at some point, get it all going. You have 21, 22 days left. That's potentially it. Does that kind of game, or maybe even Thursday night, or do you think there's a moment that can really propel you to kind of get this next level of confidence, that next phase of where you can go? Because the bottom line is, in this sport, if you can get to that phase in March at the right time, that's really what you're trying to do. If you do it in January or early February, sometimes that doesn't matter. That doesn't get you to what you want to accomplish.
I don't think any coach would choose to have it happen at the 11th hour, but if you just look at our team from last year, you can see it took us till the very last conference game. I would like for it to be sooner rather than later, but we'll just keep working and be patient in that time. But absolutely, I think we could see it on Thursday, we could see it on Saturday, but we've had games where Jamison Stinson came up big in the scoring department, or Ellie Blatchford, our two wings, and we haven't had them both play well on the same night, and same goes for other position duos. But it's just learning to play together and really correcting mistakes. This has been a challenging prep week so far. We've really, as a staff, have pushed our kids and put them in really specific and challenging situations in practice, and forced them to kind of dig themselves out of it and work together to analyze what didn't go right, or what do we need to do differently. And so just trying to teach that ownership in real time on the floor.
Erica, one of the fan favorites has been Desiree McGill, another freshman. She's been outstanding from Miami, but somebody that you can almost expect is going to sniff a double-double each game and kind of take over at big moments.
we see it every day in practice. So it never surprises me on the floor when it happens. She and Georgie Buzzetti go at it, every day and challenge each other to get better around the rim. But Des has been a sponge the whole year, and she's just so dynamic and passionate, and she's competitive. She loves to play basketball. So she's a huge part. She will continue to be a huge part of what we're doing here in this final stretch.
Well, you mentioned Georgie Buzzetti. Let's bring her in right now. She just came into the Osprey Nest, and one of the reasons we have her here on the show is she has been named North Florida's 2025-2026 KYAL Servant Leader. And this is a huge honor, right? 65 athletes from 23 different countries across every collegiate division is named as Servant Leader. She's the only KYAL Servant Leader in the ASUN Conference. That's pretty heady stuff.
Yeah, and so deserving. I mean, the organization has such a great mission. It's all about serving others, and Paula Williams is our Play for K. She's on staff with Play for K and was a former assistant coach for UNF women's basketball, and so we have a great relationship with her. And I was it just made a lot of sense that she thought of Georgie for this honor. If I had to this was an easy award, because from the moment that Georgie set foot on our campus as a junior college transfer this summer, she just started making everybody around her better. And I mean, the thing about coaching Georgie, I've learned this, but she's going to ask 2 questions every day. One is, she's going to say 2 things. One is thank you for everything, just thank you. And also, how can I help? And I mean, that's a great way to approach life. And she just has that maturity, and we've really valued that on our team. She's added a lot of value to not just our program, but our campus.
Yeah, that's the epitome of servant leader. Congratulations, by the way, on that nomination. What does that mean to you?
Thank you. It means a lot for me, not just as a player, or also as a person, because it makes me believe that everything that I'm doing is working. And I don't know, I always try to put effort and always try to be positive. And every place that I go, even if it's on the court, locker room, in the class, I try to be like a bright on that room. So I really like this. I thank coaches for nominating to this award, because I didn't know this existed because I'm not from here, but start to learning all that KO made for all the women that fought against cancer and everything. It make me realize a lot of things and be more gratitude about everything that we have right now.
Where does this mentality, your personality to be that servant leader come from? Is that how you were raised, do you feel like? Where you're from? Part of being over here now and in a different place? Where do you think it was born, if you will?
I feel it's a mix of everything. Every experience worked for me, because even when I was growing up with my family, they're very loyal with me and everything. They're always supporting me, and every team that I was on, and every experience, every trip that I had, and not only with my national team, also with my clubs, or everything that I been through, it was really helpful for me to be the person that I am right now.
I'll tell you this, the one beautiful thing about sports, and I know we get wrapped up in the W's and the L's, and you too, you have to at your job and everything else, but this is the part that's kind of cool, right? I mean, these are the relationships. You watch people grow. Maybe you now know more about Georgia than even you thought you knew, right, when it all began.
Absolutely. It didn't take long for our staff to identify Georgie as someone who would elevate our program last year at Florida Southwestern. And she's one of those kids that just reminds you why we do what we do. Makes it worth it.
You like Jacksonville?
Yeah, it's really nice. I want to stay here.
I like it. Well, you've been in some good spots. I mean, down there in Southwest Florida is not a bad spot either.
She's a beach girl.
You like that beach. Coach was just saying that this was a challenging week for you guys as a team. A lot of things identified. Can you give us a little bit more? What's that like from a player standpoint, especially going down the stretch of this season? You guys trying to play your best ball. What's hard coaching look like from a player's perspective?
I feel like Coach said, yes, we're a new team, we're a young team, but that doesn't matter at this point. I feel like we're capable of a lot of things to achieve a lot of things, and we saw it against Austin Peay that if we are all together on the court, we can do amazing stuff. So I believe that if we keep working and if we keep trusting each other, we're gonna get some things that we want to end this conference the best we can.
We spent a lot of time in the film room this week, and also just in our classroom. Coach Stacy Lobdell, our associate head coach, leads our culture and leadership meetings. We call them learns. And so we spent time in learn, we spent time in film, we spent time on the court. It's been, we've been hitting it from all angles.
Let's finish with this as kind of the host city of the ASUN championships and stewards of women's basketball for the ASUN. How do you think this is going to be in March? I know we're still a few weeks away, but if you look, you mentioned the Austin Peays of the world, but I think at the last time I checked, I think it's still 5 teams are tied for second or were tied for second. So is this going to be a heck of a tournament in Jacksonville, do you think? And hopefully the Ospreys are shining as well, but can you assess it from a kind of a wider view?
I just think it's so exciting. Like, there's nothing more exciting than postseason play. And to have the tournament in our own city, it's awesome. I mean, I've been coaching for a long time, and I've never gotten to stay home for my conference tournament. So even, just to have my family here is another cool thing, too. And to revert from the host site model, I think just gave all of our fans and our team parents the ability to plan ahead. And so it's going to be cool to have everybody in town together. And even with the excitement of like the Florida State tournament going on too, like my daughter's team is advancing right now. And so it's just, Jacksonville is going to be the place to be in March for sure.
Absolutely. As a player, do you like it? Because I know some of the players like taking road trips.
No,
you like having it here?
I prefer stay home every time. Like, I'm tired of traveling. I love to visit new cities and everything, but no, I love to.
Well, then you guys have had some travel challenges along the way with the crazy winter that they've been having here, but also more up north. Great to visit with you guys. Georgie Buzzetti, once again, the nominee for the KYAL Servant Leader. Congratulations to you on that, and good luck this week. Big one's coming up Thursday against FGCU, and then, of course, Saturday, 2 o'clock tilt here at UNF Arena against Jacksonville University in the River City Rumble. Erica Lambert, thanks for joining us. That's another edition of Talon Talk live from the Osprey Nest here on the campus of the University of North Florida. Thanks for hanging out with us on the Action Sports Shacks 24/7 network. For Richard Miller, I'm Brent Martineau. Come check everything out here at UNF, UNFospreys.com.
Hi, I'm Joel Donovan. My brother Kyle and I, we are co-owners and operators here at Donovan Heat and Air Electric, and my dad started the business in 1987 to provide the greater Jacksonville area with a great customer service experience. 3 decades later, we're still doing the same thing. I love the Jacksonville area, I love the community, I love raising my family here. That's my name on the side of the building, and it's really important for our family to run this company the way it should be ran. It's something to be proud of.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service, a meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville